are three main points that I wish they would like to discuss about. The first one is Singapore should see that rising Indonesia will provide more advantages for the growth of Singapore in the long run. So the first, I want both government to discuss about the tax amnesty and the extradition treaty. And the second one, I wish them to discuss in detail on the developments of special economic zones in Kendal, Semarang, and in Bintan, Batam, Karimun, and overall how investors from Singapore could provide more contributions in the developments of special economic zones in Indonesia. And the third one is business courts. I understand that Singapore has a very good business court systems with long histories from the business law. So I wish to some extent that Singapore could provide more capacity and knowledge sharing to Indonesians in improving business courts in Indonesia. If we see the structures of the Chinese economy back to 1990, the Chinese economy consists of agriculture contributing about 27%, industry 41%, and services 32%. But now in 2015, the agriculture contributions to GDP reduced to 9%, while the services sectors increased up to 50%. And then the GDP per capita of China increased from $332 to $7,924, or increased about 24 times compared to 1990. It shows that the Chinese economy will move from productions to consumptions and rely more on services rather than agriculture and industries. And I can see that this is a really good opportunity for Indonesia and other ASEAN countries to tap the relocations of FDI in China to Indonesia and other ASEAN countries. And in terms of growing ASEAN countries, I can see that the growing of one country will advantage the other countries. For example, Thailand, the largest automobile exporters among Southeast Asian countries. Thailand imports steel from Japan, diesel filter from Cambodia, compressors from Indonesia, and airbags from the Philippines. So we can see how much that we are connected to each other. So I can see that the growing Chinese economy and ASEAN's economy will provide more benefits for Indonesia's economy. Indonesia is currently reviewing and will provide the new templates for Bilateral Investment Treaty to maintain the national interest as well as provide enough protections for investors. But at the same time, I think Indonesia is also actively to engage Indonesia-EU FTA, Indonesia with the RCEP country, with the 16 East Asian countries, which also covers investments agreements, in which also covers protections for investors. So I don't think that the terminations of 65 BITs will affect much of the investments in Indonesia. In fact, I think Indonesia will start to provide more investment guarantee as well as liberalizations, facilitations, or promotions for all investors in Indonesia regardless their nationalities.